What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Bronx Pinstripe Show. I got the neon hat on. You know what that means. I'm in
Rhode Island, baby.
I'm in Rhode Island. Scott, you got the
by your
TE1
dad.
shirt, rocking the old school throwback shirt.
Rocking the old school shirt, man. Yeah, it's a good shirt. Fits well. Still in good shape. So, yeah, rocking it because today was a bad day in Yankees baseball, man. Today was a bad game. It went from bad to good to like, exciting to really bad, and just like the bullpen again reared its ugly head because you see the comeback they have. You score as many runs as they do, you should win the game, and unfortunately that's not the case.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, they even came back, almost tied the game on Saturday as well. Stanton, I mean, what's he, 2 feet from a grand slam to tie that game?
Not even.
Yeah.
It was like 6-7 inches, and the thing was, yeah, it was right off the wall. That was fun to watch. But yeah, he was that close. So the offense has fight, man. Like, the offense will scrap and do things. It's the pitching staff that's what are you supposed to do? You know what I mean?
Today,
like,
what are you supposed to do?
They scored 14 goddamn runs.
You 20 hits, 14 runs, and it was, like you said, it was a 7-7 game. And instead of just giving up the lead, it's a complete meltdown and takes any possibility of a comeback out of the question. But yeah, I agree. I mean, so one of the things that we have criticized this Yankees team for is their inability to hit with runners in scoring position, mount rallies, and that's something they did in both of these games to come back. I think they had 4 hits on Saturday with runners in scoring position, 5 hits today with runners in scoring position. So you can't necessarily blame the lack of execution in those spots or blame the losses on the lack of execution in those spots. It's just the pitching put them in too big of holes. I mean, nearly too big of holes on both days. And today, obviously, the bullpen just, you finally get Efros back. You see why maybe he's been in the minors.
One outing. I mean, it is.
I know it's one outing, but I know it's one outing, and I still would rather give it a shot, right? Because we know what the alternative is, and one of the alternatives we saw today is Tommy Kahnle. Sometimes, man, when Tommy Kahnle, it's always throwing his changeups. Guess what? Very hittable. And Jake Cousins. Those are two guys. If you're not going to get semi-consistency out of those two guys, you sure as shit ain't going to get it from some of these other guys in the bullpen.
Well, I mean, I will say I think they've gotten some decent consistency out of Cousins.
No,
obviously,
yeah, they have.
Good. But Kahnle, yeah, when Kahnle becomes he's got a really good changeup. Everybody knows that. He knows that. The opposing team knows that. Everybody in the world knows that Tommy Kahnle has a good changeup. But when it's the only pitch that you throw, it does. It becomes a mid-80s fastball. It becomes something that is extremely hittable. And I think he threw it
7
times in a row. It was crazy. And like, if I'm a hitter going up against Tommy Kahnle, I'm only looking for one pitch. If you beat me on a fastball, great, you beat me on a fastball. But I'm not looking for another goddamn pitch. Like, I'm looking for something that's 85 to 88 miles per hour that has a little dip. Like, I know things are going to drop out a little bit, but I'm looking for it. That's the pitch that I'm looking for. And it's amazing to me why that approach doesn't happen more often, but it did happen, and 6 times. I guess you get away with it 5 times. Why wouldn't you get away with it 6 times? But man, that's not a good strategy. That's not a good strategy, and it's not going to work against good teams, against good hitters in big positions.
This is another team, the Cardinals. They come in a game under 500, I believe, into the weekend. You can't lose 2 out of 3 to that team.
I mean, you can't lose 2 out of 3 at home when you're, and it's the team has been struggling. They were definitely much closer to a playoff position for the majority of the season, and I think the last few weeks, last month or so, they have not been good. But they have talent on the team, obviously. I mean, Jordan Walker coming in was doing absolutely nothing and goes 5 for 5 today with a home run. So these guys started hitting. They have talent on the team. I'm not. Like, a loss to the St. Louis Cardinals doesn't feel like a loss to the White Sox or a team that's on the they're not a great team. They're a mediocre team, but I don't know, man. Like, it feels like every team that walks in or that we play has that same, unless they're just a bottom feeder, everybody feels like a mediocre team. They feel like you can have a good day or you can have a bad day, and I don't know what it's going to be. It's the same with the Yankees.
It's exactly. I was talking to my dad, and he brought up the record how the Yankees have struggled against bad teams, and I'm like, I think I think that's how it's worked out, but I think it's just because the Yankees are inconsistent. And it just so happens that a lot of their struggles have come at times when they've been maybe playing bad teams. But don't you agree? Like, there's just a lot of holes in the team. There's a lot of inconsistency. Yes, that's also around the league. But if we're just talking about the Yankees, like when the bullpen is the way it is and the pitching staff is so hot or cold, and the offense, I know we said the last 2 days, has executed with runners in scoring position, but for the most part, they haven't. So it's just an inconsistent team. And that's what you get. You're going to get really ugly play. I thought this series also was ugly. Like, look at today. In the first inning.
It was ugly. It was absolutely ugly. There were balls thrown around all over the place.
Sloppiness, like obviously couldn't field Bickford couldn't field the bunt, tosses it down the right field line. But in the first inning alone, Juan Soto, I thought, just was not running the bases at all. Smart, not running the bases smart at all. Hits a line drive to right field, just I guess assumes it's going to get caught, and so he's jogging out of the first base box, or out of the box to first base. And when the right fielder bobbles it, he turns it on, but it's too late, so he can't get to second base. And then on a 3-2 pitch to Aaron Judge, he's running on the pitch, but he's just jogging, so he's out by 11 feet. If you're going to run on a 3-2 pitch, run.
Yeah. There were definitely some base running things that and just like overall lack of jump out of the box is just like a thing that
Jazz too. I know he was exciting and stole the bag on the pitcher and the third baseman falling asleep and ended up scoring on that play. I love that, but he didn't run out of the box on that fly ball to right field. Should have just been an easy catch by the center fielder or the right fielder, probably, but he didn't run.
Yeah, but I mean, even that it didn't hurt them. It doesn't hurt them when you
but
see
he didn't run.
But when you see the play that Jazz makes, like this is exactly what this team needs. The type of plays that you can tell that he's a smart baseball player because he's looking at things that are happening in front of him on the field. When he noticed that Mykonos, whatever his name is coming off of, or just not paying attention, third baseman's off the bag enough where he knows his speed is there. I said Mykonos. He knows he can take that bag, and he does, and forces a play. He forces them to do something that they're obviously not comfortable with doing. So you don't practice that type of situation, and the ball gets thrown away, and they scratch across a run. Like that that is I love it. I absolutely love it. You know, Volpe, you see Volpe doing stuff like that on the base path. I wish he would do more of it. But he does do stuff like that too. And I don't know, there's just something about that, like that headsy type of baseball that I just don't see all the time on this team. And I know we're kind of going all over the place with a little bit of some gripes here, but 14 runs on a swing game when you can win a series. And thank God, again, I'll say it again, man, but thank God that Baltimore is struggling. Thank God Baltimore has a terrible bullpen also, and you see Craig Kimbrell just giving up games to the Colorado Rockies because they're clearly going through similar things with their pitching staff and their bullpen specifically. But
did I see?
Boone the Yankees are damn near. The Yankees are damn near a 500 team since the beginning of June. I think I saw Brian Hoke's tweet out. It's crazy the fact that they're where they are in the standings right now.
Did I
see
a quote?
Say about Boone?
Yeah, did I see a quote from Boone again referencing how Baltimore? He didn't call him Baltimore, but he just seemed. He said teams around us also scuffling or something like that. Because remember he said that a couple months ago.
He was more so talking about the fortunate.
No, he was saying like, it's fortunate for us. Like we've gone through it, and you've seen some other teams go through it too. It's like again with the. Oh, so
yeah, but I think
okay.
it was more.
Everyone,
it's not that it was okay.
Everyone failed the test, Mom.
It was just more. Yeah, it was more just like that's the situation that we're in this situation because other teams are struggling. I think I don't think he was using it as.
But you know,
I heard it and it didn't bother me. I know what you're saying though.
But I hate that kind of attitude. It's like if you win 2 or 3 more games over this stretch, I'm not saying you have to play 700 ball over the stretch. You win a couple of games and you've got a comfortable lead.
Yeah, so one of the Brian Hoke tweets he sent yesterday about winning records. This is, again, like you look at it, the Yankees have the major's best record versus teams with a winning record, 44-30, and then the 19th best versus teams 500 or worse, 34-26. So I mean, I don't think it's necessarily who's in front of them. I think it has to do with self-inflicted wounds and the fact that this team is extremely inconsistent. And you know, one day and it doesn't happen often that Judge and Soto don't hit. The rest of the team doesn't do their job. But more often than not, it's the pitching staff that's giving up just too many goddamn runs, and you're seeing them having to chase, just like today. They had to chase. And I don't think Nestor Cortes was that terrible when you watched him play. Like, the ball to left field that Verdugo didn't catch probably should be caught. You could look at where he was playing. Do you think that Verdugo should be that far to center field on a ball where Nestor is going to try to go for weak contact? He's going for weak contact, and a lot of times a weak contact will go the other way towards the left field line. So, there's just a lot of little things like that are adding
but that's
up.
Position.
So, like, today, I didn't think Nestor was all that bad. I didn't think he was terrible. And then, he gave up the home run, which was not a good home run to give up. He was out there again. I think this is the second time he's been out there in just a complete downpour. Without them putting the tarp on, because it was a cell that was going to be over there for like 5 minutes, and he just so happens to be on the mound. But I don't know. It was frustrating.
That ball down the left field line, though, that's about outfielder positioning. Like, so whatever the scouting report and whatever the pitch sequence was going to be, that's where they had him positioned. So
it is, but you're right. He was in the position. He also pulled up at the last minute where I would like to see my left fielder go all out for that ball. It's a big play. You got to go make a play there. He definitely checked up at the last minute. So, I could say a bunch of things, but
what about the ground ball to Volpe? That ball's kind of opens up the inning. That could have been a double play.
Yeah. Volpe's also making tremendous plays in the field to actually keep them in things. So
that's not charged an error, though. But how is that not an error? That's a ball right to the shortstop.
You're talking about the hit?
It was ruled a hit, but that's a ball. Like,
yeah.
Volpe just tried to stab. He looked like his feet got tangled up a bit, and so he kind of fell down toward on two knees and tried to stab backhand at the ball, and he just whiffed on it. It was a bad play. Like, they didn't rule it an error because I don't think he got any glove on it, but that's a ball a shortstop needs to make. Not even a good shortstop. That's the ball a shortstop needs to make.
There were some funky bounces out there too. It happened to the Cardinals as well,
too.
with a ball that was like skidded off of the grass or whatever the hell happened. But there were some funky bounces going on out there too. So
yeah, there was also the stat.
But when the ball's in the air, that's not funky.
Stat going around after the game, the Yankees allowed 20 plus hits today. I think it was 21 hits. The second time this season that's happened, and that only happened 3 times between 2015 and 2023. Like, 20 hits is so many hits.
It's a lot of goddamn hits. It's too many hits. And the people that are running out in this bullpen, you get Phil Bickford, who obviously throws the ball away when there's a play that every pitcher in the world who's in the major league should be able to make with no issue. There was just a lot of sloppiness. There was a lot of sloppiness. You can't have a well-played defensive game either when 20 runs or 14 runs are scored, 20 hits. Like, there's going to be some ugliness around there no matter what. Yes, they were very hittable, but there's going to be some ugliness that prolongs innings as well.
Yeah, we got a couple positive things to talk about. But first, we're brought to you today by Raycon's Everyday Earbuds, which provide audio quality that is just as good as the big guys, but for half the price. And the exciting thing is Raycon just launched their upgraded model of their best-selling Everyday Earbuds. Some of the must-have features that these earbuds have include 32-hour battery life, quick charge function, which allows you to get 90 minutes of battery life in just 10 minutes of charging, ergonomic design to fit almost any ear shape, active noise cancellation, 3 customizable sound styles, weather-proof and sweat-resistant, and earbud tap functions to reduce discomfort when you are using them. Raycon also offers a 30-day happiness guarantee, so there's no excuse for not giving these a try. I've been using them. I use them actually jogging, which doesn't happen often anymore, but the occasional times I can get out there and go for a run. I've been using the Raycon Everyday Earbuds, and they stay in my ear, which is not something that all earbuds do, so that's very nice. It comes with a few different adjustable sizes, like, you can just pop them off and put on those adjustable sizes to fit any ear shape. So I've actually even used a different size for each ear because, I don't know, my right ear is just weird. Go to buyraycon.com/Bronx today to get 15% off your Raycon order plus free shipping. That's right, you get 15% off and free shipping at buyraycon.com/Bronx, buyraycon.com/Bronx. We are also brought to you today by Game Time. If you're looking to attend an upcoming Yankees game, the Game Time app has great tickets. Game Time is now an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, meaning buying tickets to a baseball game on Game Time is faster and easier than ever. The Game Time app has so many great features. I love the flash deals so you can see which sections the best deals are in. All-in pricing option, toggle that on so you're not hit with surprise fees at checkout, and the seat views from inside the stadium or whatever venue you're going to. Football's right around the corner as well if you're looking for NFL tickets, so you can make sure you're going to get a seat that you want and you will enjoy. The app also is streamlined and it's easy to use. It's just a couple of taps and then your tickets are purchased. The app allows for easy sharing with other people if you're going to the game with friends and family. Game Time has great tickets for concerts, comedy shows, theater, events, and much more. And the Game Time guarantee means you're always going to get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less money, Game Time's going to credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code BRONX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Once again, create an account and redeem code BRONX. That spells Bronx for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. It's Labor Day weekend, and on the holiday, who knows who's going to be listening to this. And the Yankees just lost 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals. So it's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. But any other grievances to air about the series before we talk about a couple positives?
No, because it's the same story. That's the big thing here is it's the same story. You know, when you're looking at how this team loses and the concern moving forward, to me, it's the bullpen. It's always been the bullpen. So you know, we have some guys coming back, and hopefully they can settle in and be better. But that's it. That's all we're doing right now. We're hoping that guys that are on the roster or guys that are coming back are going to do something. That's it. There's not a lot of confidence behind this. It's a lot of hope.
That's one of the positives we're going to mention is Rizzo back. 2 hits today in his first game back. It was good to obviously see Rizzo back on the field since he fractured his forearm, and the Yankees had been searching for first base. I mean, really all season, because it's not like Rizzo was good before he went down. But the hope is that Rizzo can stabilize the position a little bit.
And I think that's what he does. You have him out there, and I just feel better just seeing him out there than the rotation of LeMahieu and Rice, even though Rice really hadn't been playing all that much. This is exactly what we wanted or we expected to happen. If Rizzo's healthy, you know, there's got to be – I say this, but I know what he did in the beginning of the year. You can't have much less production at first base with anybody. So you have him, it's got to be a net positive, right? It's got to be a net positive. And you know what he does defensively. LeMahieu actually struggled over there at first base. A lot worse than a lot more than I was expecting him. His footwork, even his glove work wasn't all that great over there. So yeah, having a defensive guy like Anthony Rizzo at first base, I think is a big deal. You know, for Jazz's development over the next month as he continues as the starting third baseman, I think it's a good thing to have a guy like Rizzo over there. So, yeah, overall, I just think it's a really good thing. And obviously, he got some hits today, so positive influence on the lineup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Stroman also was good. You mentioned that earlier in the episode, giving the Yankees length on Friday night. And another positive was Wells hit 2 home runs after. I'm sure you saw the TikTok that Wells had.
Oh, did I see the TikTok?
Did you see the TikTok?
It must have been an older. It must have been an older.
Oh yeah, it was old.
He had a full beard, so I don't know when that was actually filmed. I showed it to Kemp, the video, because I'm trying to. Kemp is starting rookie ball this year, which is the step up from T-ball in our Little League area, and you know, in T-ball there's a lot of goofiness. There's a lot of goofiness that happens, and while I want Kemp to have fun, we go out and we say goofiness not allowed on the baseball field. When you're playing, it's not goofy. We're having fun, but we're not goofy. Like, you could do that afterwards. And it was a great way for me to show, after he hit 2 home runs on Friday, that this man is all business on the field, but then has fun and is goofy and is just like has a good time and just acts silly on the when he's not playing baseball. So it worked really well for the lesson that I was trying to teach. And now Kemp has watched it maybe 50 times.
Oh, really?
He hey Dad, can you show me the Austin Wells video again? Like the kid's obsessed with it. So
did Austin Wells just become his favorite player?
He might have. He might have. I think when kids see players off the field, it's just weird, because they don't see them as normal people. It's like seeing the teacher in the grocery store. Like, what? You don't live at school? And so yeah, I think it was a good representation of like, hey, these are actual people, not just Yankees baseball players.
Well, social media has obviously allowed athletes to show their personal lives very easily, and it's very common now. But yeah, I mean, think about like the 90s. The only time you saw a glimpse into that was like if you got a magazine, you would read an article about it. Maybe like when ESPN Sports Center would do those commercials. Remember like Posada and Jeter had that Sports Center commercial. It was like those sorts of very small moments that you'd get glimpses into these guys' personalities.
Yeah, 100%. And so the fact that he this came out and he's been good. And look, man, he's been hitting and he played the whole series, which is great. Like you want to see him play, and he's playing. So he needs to be locked in that 4 spot and just be the guy there.
He did say he was surprised it was not found earlier because there's an old video. So he's like, oh yeah, I'm surprised no one stumbled upon that video. So what do you make of the Yankees not calling up Dominguez for their September call-ups? Because they recalled Scott Efros, Marinaccio, and outfielder Duke Ellis, in addition to obviously Rizzo.
So this is obviously the big story. The roster's expanded. It's happening exactly like I said a couple of weeks ago how it would happen. Like this is exactly what I thought would happen. I think that. And today didn't help the case with Verdugo getting a couple hits. Like you see that when I saw, hold on, let me backtrack. I think that the Yankees I know everybody's talking about the service time. Like that's the big narrative here. It's the service time. It's the extra draft pick and all that. Like, okay, that's a convenient thing. Like I don't actually think it's driven by that. I 100% don't believe it's driven by that. I 100% believe that it is because they want to still play Verdugo and they will not play Jasson Dominguez every day. That's why I think it's happening. And do I believe that that's the right decision? No, I do not believe that's the right decision. At this point, with a month left, you should get the kid up there and he should be playing in left field every single day. That's what should be happening. But if he's not going to play every day, it's because they are not going to play him every day. And if that's the case, then I want him to play every single day. And if it needs to be in AAA, then just have him play every day down there if you're not going to play him in the major leagues. And that's exactly what's happening. This is like, to me, the most predictable thing that the Yankees would do, because they're going to tell you that he's not going to play every day. And they're not going to commit to playing him as the everyday left fielder because of Verdugo, and they're not giving up on Verdugo. That's the reason. So again, I look at the schedule again, and for Scranton, 9/15 is when they finish their last homestand, and they have like a long stretch to end the year in Buffalo. Yankees are at home during that stretch. They have that homestand. I think he's going to be up then. I think he's going to be up right around the time when they stop playing baseball every single day, and they'll be forced to make this decision.
But at that point, why, if they're not prepared to sit Verdugo on September 1st, why would they be prepared to sit Verdugo on September 15th?
Because they're not going to have a choice at that point. That's why. They have a choice right now, so they're using it as an option. They feel like they can give Verdugo another 2 weeks. I don't know. And at that point, Dominguez is not going to be playing every day no matter what. Like there's playoffs. I don't even know what the playoff situation is for Scranton, but there will be a lot days off here, more days off because of that, a lot more travel. So it's warranted. Like it's hard to deny the fact that it makes sense for him to be up no matter what, whether he's playing every day or not at that point, because their season's over. So I think that's I really do think that's their logic.
But at that point, there's no alternative for him to play baseball every day. So he could still ride the bench in the majors, because Verdugo is 10 for his last 27. So if they're going to keep giving him chances and he's hitting even a little bit, they're going to stick with him. They've stuck with him through May.
They'll at least play the matchup.
When May through August, when in In May, he hit 245 with a 275 on base. In June, 219, 265 on base. July, 223, 286 on base. August, 204 batting average, 269 on base. He didn't have an above two. His on base percentage was never above 286 in those months for any month, and they stuck with him still. So they're never going to bench him.
Well, that's the thing. Like, again, they're gonna have to be in a situation that they're gonna be forced to do this, and because he's hitting a little bit right now, it's helping them, I think, behind the scenes justify their decision where they're saying, and look, I want, at the end of the day, no matter what, I want to be very clear on this. Like, I want Jasson Dominguez in the major leagues playing every day. Like, that is what I want. That's what I believe should happen. I think that's the best move to put the Yankees in the best position to win games on a daily basis. I think that he's the better player. But if you're going to bring him up right now when September call-ups happen at 9-1 and not play him every day, I would rather him play every day because I think that, one, he's still developing as a player and he needs everyday reps. He still needs the reps to, even for the playoffs, like reps right now are going to be helpful for him in a month. So if he's getting those reps in AAA because you're not going to play him, then fine. I'd rather you not call him up and sit him on the bench 3 times, 4 times a week and have him play every single day in Scranton until that becomes a non-issue. But it's only because this is how they operate. Like, it's like my brain goes to what are they thinking? What are they doing? And I think that's what they're thinking. I think that's their justification. Yeah, and it just so happens that, yes, there's the whole American League thing. But that's such a long shot and such a crapshoot that, like, if you're making decisions based on that, we have much bigger problems if that's the case. So I think it's in the conversation. Like, they know about it. It's there. It helps the case. But at the same time, it's all about Verdugo and them not wanting to sit Verdugo.
You're saying the rookie eligibility is because they said certainly in the conversation. They're referring to that, right?
130 at bats. If he has a 130 professional at bats, he is no longer eligible to be rookie of the year. If he were to come up and play every single day right now, he would most likely exceed those at bats for his career at that point, and then not be eligible as a rookie, therefore not be eligible to win the award. And if he's not eligible to win the award, then the Yankees are not eligible to get another draft pick in which they would get if he did win that award. Yep. That is a long stretch of what ifs, and like if they were making decisions based on something that had that long of that linear of an explanation, then we have much bigger problems because that their whole decision making process is completely screwed. So I think it's there. They know about it, obviously, and like that's probably helping their decision. But I do think it's rooted in the fact that they're not going to sit Verdugo as an everyday player, and therefore Dominguez won't play every day.
If Dominguez didn't have that oblique injury back in June, do you think this all would have played out differently?
I don't know. I would hope so. If you saw him hitting for a 2-month period and just like destroying AAA, then I think that he then puts you in a position where you have no choice also. Because
Verdugo was so bad in those months as well.
Yeah. And like, why do we have to talk about this? Like this is the other frustrating thing is like, why do we have to talk about the fact that they're forced into playing the better player? Like, it's a crazy discussion. It's a crazy conversation. We want to win baseball games and have the best team out there. If this kid is the best player to come out and play left field, then play him. Yeah. Like, we're talking about these things that have to happen that Jasson Dominguez has to do in AAA for them to be so forced into a situation to actually make the move. It's crazy. It's crazy, like the things that have to transpire for them to go out there and realize, like, this is the better player. He's younger. He's more dynamic. He's faster. He's gonna bring a level of excitement and enthusiasm to the team that can help. All of these things are good. All of these things are good.
Well, we've seen the Yankees sort of operate like this with prospects, but it's usually when they don't fully believe in the prospect. But I don't think that's the case with Dominguez. So that's what's making it even more frustrating and weird.
And that Verdugo's on a 1-year deal. Like, there's nothing tying them to him after this year. Really, after the regular season, there's nothing. There's nothing.
No. But and if Verdugo was hitting, no one would be really saying anything. I mean, people still would, but at least there would be a legitimate justification for playing Verdugo every day. But he was the worst left fielder in baseball for 5 straight months.
I mean, if you don't think that some of this has to do with the fact that he's a left-handed hitter and like does that, and I know that Dominguez can do that also.
Yeah.
But at least you have one guy that's sitting on one spot, and he probably has like good splits that are out there that the nerds can actually look at and quantify, and then put like Dominguez there as a right-handed batter and play the splits. Like, you know that there's some type of a split that they're looking at, even though he's a switch hitter, to play Verdugo. I promise you there's something like that the nerds have concocted to say this is the guy that you need against tough righties.
That's got to be one hell of a niche split that they have found, that specifically in these exact moments, Verdugo's our guy, and we cannot pass up the opportunity to play him because of that.
And the fact that they call up a guy that they just picked up who is fast and can run the bases, and they bring him up as an outfielder, Duke Ellis, who they just acquired, right? They just picked him up. It's just salt in the wound for fans when they're looking at that. When they see that transaction get marked and it's posted up there, and Dominguez's name isn't up there, but there is another outfielder. It just makes you want to go crazy a little bit.
All right. Well, Yankees are going to be in Texas playing the Rangers. It's an 8:00 game on Monday night, right? It's a night game.
All of them are 8:05 games, I believe.
But it's like, it's Labor Day. Like, can't you give me a 4:05 start or something? Like, some daylight baseball action on the last holiday of the summer. But hey, whatever. Baseball schedule's been weird like that ever since the balance schedule and all that kind of stuff. Anything else you want to touch on before we wrap up?
The Rangers, Jack Leiter. So we got a lighter on lighter action here coming up on Monday, which is interesting. And then Heaney, who I still can't believe like he's an actual pitcher, even though he's doing well ERA wise. And then Evaldi's coming in against Stroman. So you got some matchups. And right now the Rangers are really playing for nothing at this point. They're 10 games out of the West. There's not a team that's going to get a wild card spot from that division. So, these are winnable games. But as we said, inconsistencies would drive the wins or losses for this team. So we'll see what happens.
All right. We will talk to you after the Texas series.